one person dies every 11 minutes from suicide. It is a staggering stat that could have included Carol Seppilu. We talked with her in today's DBL Spotlight. Now, a warning, this next segment may be triggering to some.
On a remote island just off the coast of Alaska, where there are more seabirds than humans, Carol Seppilu spends her childhood. Savunga, Alaska, a small town submerged in poverty, many of its residents turn to drugs and alcohol as their lifeline. At age 13, Carol dives into a deep depression. By age 16, she is dependent on alcohol, and after a night of drinking, she takes her father's hunting rifle and pulls the trigger. Some may call it divine intervention. Carol's hand slips and the gun dips. She's still alive. But doctors say Carol will never see or speak again. And for the next decade, she fights her way back. Her sight returns to perfect vision. Then comes her speech with the help of a trachea tube. She chooses to wear a mask as a form of comfort. In 2017, after choosing to stop her years of painful reconstructive surgeries, Carol's depression returns. A friend suggests she runs to escape. She starts by walking 2 painstaking miles. A year later, she's able to run those 2 miles. Today, Carol is an ultramarathoner, where she runs hundreds of miles at a time.
Carol is finishing up the 50K.
It becomes her lifeline and her why.
Coming into the finish.
Carol, welcome to DBL. First of all, it's good to see you here. To help our audience better understand your truly remarkable recovery from your injury, take us back to the day when the doctors told your family what happened when you got to the hospital. Can you take us back there?
So, they told my mother that I had a 50% chance of surviving. I woke up in the ICU and I wasn't sure what happened, and I motioned for a pen and a paper. The first words I wrote was, "What happened?"
You know, after your suicide attempt, there was a moment in your hospital bed, and I want you to take us there. Take us there and tell us what happened.
So in the ICU, I felt like I couldn't breathe, and I fell back into my pillow, and an old village appeared. And my great-grandmothers, they were sitting on the ground, and they beckoned for me. I went over to them. They told me that everything was going to be okay, and that I had to come back, that I was going to do great things. I listened to them, and I came back with a powerful purpose.
That story means so much because you did go on to do great things. You are doing great things. You're an ultra marathoner. I mean, yes, a marathoner in itself would be exceptional, but an ultra marathoner running hundreds of miles at a time. And during your 100-mile marathon, what was the hardest part for you?
The first 70 miles are actually very fun for me. I love being outdoors for hours. But you get into a moment where everything starts to get painful and you just want to quit. I had that moment at mile 92 where I just started breaking down and crying. But I was out in the middle of nowhere, so I told myself, we need to get to the finish. And that's what I focused on, and that's what pulled me through.
You know, let's talk about those dark moments, because I have a hard time not drawing a parallel between the emotional, mental dark moments that we have for mental health issues and also the physical dark moments. How do you find the light and just keep going?
You have to have a goal to look forward to. When I'm running these long distances, I know how I'm going to feel at the finish. it's a very happy and fulfilling feeling, and going through those dark moments, you have to focus on it. And it's just like life, we all have beautiful and perfect moments waiting to happen. I know how happy I'm going to be when I get there, so just keep putting one foot in front of the other and you'll get there.
Be sure to follow Carol on Instagram to learn more about suicide awareness and to be truly inspired. Carol, you spoke to a lot of people and a lot of our viewers today that have been in that position or are in that position today. So thank you for sharing your story with us today.
If you or someone you know are having thoughts of suicide, we want to give you some numbers for help. You can call the Suicide Prevention Hotline at 800-273-8255. We're also putting up some other numbers on the screen. Please reach out if you or someone you know is in need. You are not alone.